And we are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Jambb of Crypto, episode 767. Today is Monday, August 2nd, 2021, and I'm King.
And I'm Bitcoin Zay. And we're here to bridge the gap between cryptocurrency and the community, Monday through Friday at 10-ish.
At 10-ish, in today's top stories, there's no reason not to hold Bitcoin for 100 years, Michael Saylor says. Square to acquire Australian fintech Afterpay in $29 billion deal. Brand executive posts discounted Utah home listing for Dogecoin. Cats cause chaos on Ethereum. Again, that's Mila. Kunis project sells out in 35 minutes. And of course, we'll be talking about Jambb's first ever non-fungible joking NFT comedy show that they actually put on an NFT. We have their vice president here today. We'll be talking more about that. But first, Bitcoin's Day, what's going on with the prices?
Oh, yeah. So taking a look at our prices this morning, Bitcoin's at $39,656, down 4% in the last 24 hours. Ethereum at $2,620, up 2% today. Binance Coin at $334 is down 0.9%. Cardano sitting at 133 is down 1.5% today. XRP at 75 cents, down 0.3%. Dogecoin coming in at 20 cents is down 2% today. Polkadot at 1844, up 1.6%. And last but not least, Uniswap at 2246 is up 0.73%. Not much movement over the weekend, except for a slight dip from Bitcoin after 10 straight green candle days. So not much to worry about right now. Keep holding.
There it is. Okay, and as we already mentioned, we have a guest today. Brandon Henderson, VP at Jambb and past stand-up comedian himself, turned into an NFT enthusiast, is here with us today to tell us about his company, Jambb, as well as his comedy show that happened over the weekend. Welcome to the show, Brandon.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, you guys.
For sure, for sure. So you're a previous comedian in your past life yourself, huh?
Yeah, clearly a mega successful comedian that doesn't really do comedy anymore. So it was great. It was too good, and now it was so good. I was like, I'm gonna hang it up. So, but yeah, we're in it.
How did you get into the the technology side of things with the NFTs?
Honestly, specific to NFTs was through introduction to Jambb. Jambb sort of 1.0 had a sort of very different focus in the creator economy about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and was involved as sort of a board advisor for a little bit. And when the transition came from the sort of creator economy and trying to support that world to the NFT side, comedy started to be much more the focus of the company and the conversation, and that's when I sort of jumped on full time.
Well, yeah, with that, yeah, tell us about Jambb, the company itself, and then of course, definitely want to hear about the comedy show from the weekend.
Yeah, so Jambb is honestly just trying to look at the current entertainment space and think about how the mechanics of an NFT can support it and expand it, how we can give entertainers access to an entirely different economy, and how to do that with the long tail, how to do that long term for everybody, and not just this cash grab. Hey, I'm a very famous person and I've done this thing, grab my thing that I'm putting out there, but build a company on top of it that instead of a few $million here and there is a few $1 billion for years to come, sort of thing. So we are focusing specifically on comedy to do that today, trying to sort of have a very specific vertical and talk to comedians, talk to production companies, talk to everybody involved in the process and see how they can actually take advantage of the top line of a production of things that usually are only held for maybe talent, maybe a director, production company, or streaming service, and that's it. We're trying to sort of blow the doors off of that a little bit.
Nice. Yeah, and I wanted to ask, as far as the comedians that you have on there, who are some of the comedians that are featured from this past weekend?
Yeah, so we had a crazy weekend. We had 9 comedians, part of the main show. We actually had 15 comedians total, but Maria Bamford, Shantae Wayans, Beth Stelling, Pete Holmes, Brooks Wheelan, Adam Ray, Ian Edwards, and on here, as you can see it from this list.
Man, Ian Edwards, that's my guy right there. Love going to see him. So yeah, definitely be checking out Shantae Wayans. Seen her a few times as well. One of the 1 million Wayans that are walking around on Earth. So
shout out to the Wayans family, legends.
I'm only aware of Shantae. I don't know what you're talking about.
So when it comes to the actual NFT itself, tell us how you all did this. Like kind of from the technical side, like how did this work? Is it already on the NFT? Are you still in the process of pushing it, getting it actually digitized? Because I know you guys got to probably edit the show. So how is this working?
Yeah, so we filmed this thing like the best HBO special you can imagine. 7 cameras, 4K. We had a crew of 40 people. This is a big production. So it is going to take a few weeks before we have this thing completely in the can and edited. But once that happens, then we'll go through that process and figure out a few more specifics. We have to see the footage, but I do know that it's going to look great and be fantastic.
Good stuff. Yeah. So what was it, about an hour and a half show as well?
So we really kind of have at the end of it, maybe kind of 3 different large assets. We have an interview between Maria Bamford and Beth Stelling, which was sort of the beginning of night 1. And then we have this sort of larger stand-up showcase, almost like the people have seen the stand-ups on Netflix, sort of that idea. And we also sort of closed with Pete Holmes doing stand-up. At least that was the idea, but we truly on the fly. Our host was Moses Storm, and they sort of started riffing backstage and came up with this idea where they sort of did this interview behind the scenes of what a comedian looks like or how they sort of work, and did that on stage. And that's a whole potentially separate other thing on top of it. So we sort of did some real-time stuff. So at least that, but probably more.
So is Jambb, are they actually, I guess, headed toward NFTs in general? I'm assuming it just won't be this comedy show, right? You all have other things coming down?
Yeah, we've got tons of things planned. We have other productions that are in play. This is definitely not the first, or this is definitely the first, but not the last, I should say.
Oh yeah. Any plans to introduce NFTs in other aspects? For example, with tickets, maybe having ticket sales that are NFTs, or maybe other, like you were saying before, they were joking in the back. Maybe some other stuff like people don't get to see from comedians outside joking on each other. I know a lot of times living down the street from the Improv, the Comedy Store, if you walk, the comedians out there joking on each other. Any plans for NFTs like that?
Yeah, absolutely. And we have some of that footage. I mean, we had a photographer going through the whole thing as well, where those behind the scenes, photos have been taken. Those will be minted. We've got, collateral like the poster you guys were showing. We've got, certainly tickets have been a conversation where people, if you come to this one-of-one, if you were actually physically at the event, there's some added benefits and added perks there for you. So the poster, for example, we actually had up for everybody, got actually an NFT of that poster for the show that came to the show. And there's some, basically access to the Jambb community if you did that early access, if you were at the show.
Nice. And how much are these going to be going on sale for?
I'll let you know.
Oh, there we go. All right. So here's an important question. I'm glad you all are doing NFTs. Are the creators, I guess, once it turns into NFT, will they be getting paid in Ethereum or in cryptocurrency?
Yeah, absolutely. So every single comedian on this, of course, is, making percentages off of this, but also the crew. Cameramen and women, grips are all sort of participating in this as well. And they will have that choice as to how they want to access those funds, but certainly we will. So
you're essentially the first organization then that is bridging this gap between Hollywood and crypto. How are you all are you all processing that? Have you already had those conversations and kind of know the way forward as far as crypto payments to go into all these directions?
Yeah, I mean, so specifically how people are getting paid and how we're setting up that structure, is, sort of that work in progress and figuring out how to just make it as simple as possible, because obviously not everybody, is familiar with the minutia of the whole thing. And we want the average person to be able to access it as well and not feel like there's a big barrier to entry. So we want to see how we can get the usual person or the normal person, whatever you want to call it, getting in there and getting more familiar without, feeling like it's, they've got to read a phone book before they can actually access it.
No, for sure. I'm over here, I'm beating down my agent's door, and in LA all the time. I'm like, look, I do not want no more checks coming from Extreme Reach, going to New York, back to LA. I was like, just send me the crypto. So they claim they're working on it, but I just can't wait to see more organizations in Hollywood start to accept it and normalize it. Like you said, there's definitely a process as far as the educational piece, as well as actually making it work to where it's seamless or whatever. So I just can't wait until it's done, because once the first organization does it and gets it right, I'm sure everybody else is going to start kind of like, all right, maybe we can try it this way as well, or at least offer the option. Like, that's the important thing, to at least offer the option for it.
For sure.
Yeah, and Brandon, I wanted to know, what are some of or have you heard some of the funniest crypto jokes? Because I've heard a couple and they were kind of corny and hacky because they didn't understand what Bitcoin was. But what is at least, one or two maybe you've heard so far?
Well, first of all, I would be very curious to hear what these jokes are that you're hearing. But
go to the Comedy Store on Wednesdays, Tehran, whenever Tehran show is on at the Comedy Store. I mean, not the Comedy Store, sorry, the Laugh Factory. Yeah.
I think one joke that I think I could be allowed to say that
you can say whatever you want here.
Yeah.
that Moses Storm said. It's mostly just I want to make sure that I'm not saying anything out there that he put out there, but he already posted it at one point. So I think and I'm going to kill it. I'm going to, as in murder poorly or say it poorly. But essentially, the idea that Moses has is that NFTs are like your children, in that you may not. They may not all be great, but they are yours, and only because they are. I don't know.
Yeah, you did an amazing job with that one, Brandon. I thought you said you used to be a comedian.
Jesus Christ.
It's impossible to do other people's jokes.
It's 7 a.m. in LA. I cut it out. Oh, it's live. Oh, never mind.
Oh, it's all good. All right. Well, here's my question. Out of the comedians, who are like 2 or 3 of your favorites of this past week? Like you said, you had a whole lineup. I'm sure everyone was great. When I was looking at the list, there's some accomplished comedians on there and people who have been around, done different things. So who are some of your favorites or the crowd favorites of the weekend?
Yeah, I mean, everybody did a phenomenal job. I think probably, it just got better and better as the whole night or the whole weekend went on. But I think we definitely ended on an extremely high note with Pete Holmes and Moses Storm, with the sort of interview banter that they had. I mean, they were just absolutely incredible. We just sort of let them continue to go on, probably 20 minutes past what we had planned, because it was just such a great sort of chemistry between the two of them. But truly, everybody just absolutely killed over the weekend. Nice.
Good there.
When can we expect to see these come out? When can people start looking for it?
I think you're going to start seeing, some footage here possibly in the next week and a half.
If it's like put together the proper way and it's like for real NFT and people can use crypto to buy pieces and everything, like it is going to be a huge thing. I think I can't wait to see some of the bigger crypto publications start to pick it up, because like I said, I haven't seen a comedy show on NFT. And then, I mean, what's next? We're going to be doing movies, shorts, vines, all that good stuff on NFTs, I'm sure, soon. So you all are definitely paving the way on that one.
Oh yeah, no more broke comedians. I love it.
Yeah. That's truly.
Yeah. Times are changing, man.
Yeah, and you guys have all seen why I'm not doing stand-up anymore. I'm glad we cleared it up. I'm glad that no one's questioning why it's not me in front of the camera.
And you know what? Whose ideal was this? Like for Jambb, like you said, you kind of pivoted to this, right? Because initially this weren't what you're doing. You pivoted to this. So whose ideal was it in the company? Because this is kind of a risky thing. Like it could have been, the reception could have been bad, So whose ideal was it? Hey, let's pivot to this and actually try this out.
Well, I think just the core Jambb team, made up of 6-7 people. We're very sort of in it together. We work very, very closely, and just had a lot of pretty significant brainstorming conversations. And we just thought, hey, if we're going to get into entertainment and we're going to give this a try, we need to do it right. We need to do this in the very best possible way. We need to have the very best talent imaginable, and we need to have people see it at the highest levels and not just sort of half-assed it, so to speak. And so it is a big swing. it's a big effort here, and everybody was involved in making it successful, and everyone was involved in sort of pushing or being willing to take this pretty significant step forward. And I think everybody takes credit for this for sure.
I saw the whole block full of trailers and everything. So like you said, it was definitely an official production. So, I mean, and shout out to you all for providing that to talents, comedians. Again, when you're talking about kind of a new company or one that maybe hasn't been out there, a new process with NFTs and a whole new thought, behind it, to put the money behind it as well, and support those comedians is really cool to see as well.
Yeah, it's a first impression. If you're meeting, whoever you're dating's parents for the first time, look nice, be on your best behavior. We want to do that here and sort of show that we're serious about what we're doing here.
Nice. The big one is that you got anything?
No, that's all for me. I love this idea. As a big fan of comedy, this is great, especially pushing these two worlds together, and it can only get bigger. So love to see it, Brandon. Appreciate you, man.
Last couple of quick ones, Brandon. Where is the NFT market headed in general, and where is it headed in Hollywood in your thoughts? And how long? 3 questions. Where's the NFT market headed? Where's it headed in Hollywood, and how long?
I think, personally, we obviously saw this sort of extremely volatile moment where things were so high up and so far down, and we're really banking on this idea that things are going to level off long term, and that these very structured, thoughtful, quote unquote, whatever you want to call them, sort of legitimate business processes and structures are going to be built on top of this and stabilize this economy. And I think that when it comes to entertainment, people are trying to figure it out. There's a lot of groups that are trying to look at this and try to say, how can we take advantage of it? A lot of people certainly are going to try to sort of put the traditional Hollywood on top of this, in the sense that it's sort of continues to push the huge hierarchies and keep certain people out and keep other people very paid. We want to do the opposite of the sort of traditional way of doing things. And, sort of how long this will take, truly it's anyone's guess. But if we've learned anything, of course, from, blockchain crypto, is that it could be in 10 minutes from now. So maybe it happened. I haven't checked. I need to Google real quick or make a phone call. But I think it's sooner than we all think.
I agree, especially with stuff like Scarlett Johansson. She came out and said something about her pay. I saw Gerard Butler actually came out to say something about Olympus Has Fallen. Short, quick story, which is even crazy. I remember when Olympus Has Fallen came out, I was doing PR for the military at the time. And we did a partnership with Hollywood where we did the screening for that on the military bases or whatever. So I had a chance to meet Morgan Freeman, Gerard. I actually came to Hollywood. They invited me to the red carpet showing and everything. It was a good time. But to see that happen so long ago, that was like in 2012 or 2013, I think. That happened that long ago. And he's coming back now saying, hey, I still haven't got my money. I think what you all are doing with NFTs, like and that's what I think about talent. Once talent and creators see it, it's like, no, this works. And it's, especially once it's streamlined, it's like, no, all everyone has to do is boom, 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 click here, put your stuff here. And this is the way people get paid. I think this will be the way forward, because agents will eventually fight for their clients. Like, no, just put it on the NFT. We don't have to worry about the money at all. Like, it'll go to where it's supposed to go when you all buy and sell. So it's great that you all are starting off, taking on a huge hurdle. But hand clap, you already did it technically, right? You did the hard part. You did the heavy lifting. So.
No, I thank you. And I truly, like, this is, something that we're very, and I personally have a pretty significant investment in doing this right for people and doing it right for us. Of course, we're in it for success ourselves, but, again, going to the crew, like, I had great conversation with a couple of crew members over the weekend. Just sat them down. We talked for a good hour or so, just sort of saying, like, what are these pain points that you experience as a crew member, working project by project? It's January. Do you know what your salary total will be? It's not even a salary, but how much you're going to make by December. Not really. Like, you can be in it long enough where, you can have a best guess. You can be like, people will call me. You don't know exactly. That's a scary place to be for someone so technically proficient. And if we can come up with a way to sort of smooth that out and give people more stability, give them more ownership in the projects that they work on, where they get back end, where they can say to, some asshole that is a director that is treating people poorly, they can say, hey, I'm an owner on this just as much as you are. You don't get to sort of treat me in a particular way. I think that that's a potentially very powerful thing. Of course, somebody needs to lead a project. It's not all about like suddenly everybody is the boss with every single thing that you do. But when it comes to, showing people respect, giving them what they deserve, getting them paid for what they've, for the effort that they put in, I think it's a really strong step forward. And I hope that we can just kill that aspect of it.
I'm with you on that, and that will be the only reason why I think it will drag its feet, is because of course the old guard's gonna be like, oh hell no, we can't have this. So I mean, I've already kind of experienced that pushback. Like I said, I've been asked to get paid in Bitcoin out here before, and people look, I'm like, you pay me in PayPal, Venmo every now and then, you do checks. But like I said, when you got a Chicago payroll agency doing all or at least 50% of LA checks, and it's gonna be a hard pushback there.
Real slow. The mob ain't going for that.
Right. Well, again, folks, if you're just joining, we have today Brandon Henderson. He's the VP over at Jambb. He's also a past stand-up comedian. He's not going to tell you that, but listen, if you listen long enough, you hear the jokes seep out. But he's an NFT enthusiast now. He's been leading the charge over at Jambb, who just did their first ever, actually the first ever comedy special on an NFT. Again, it was I mean, they definitely had the money involved. I went by, I saw the trailers everywhere, and it was definitely a big production. So again, Brandon, thanks for being with us today. And if there's anything you want to leave us with, please feel free to leave us where we can find you at, where we can find, of course, Jambb. We'll put those links in the chat, and then anything else you want to leave us with.
Yeah, just check out jamb.com, and we would love feedback. We would love ideas. We're very open to a lot of conversations with a lot of smart people are out there. Feel free to shoot me even an email at henderson@jamb.com. So love to talk.
Perfect. Oh, one last one. PFC Wells Trek, thank you for this. Came through with a good one. Essentially, he was just saying basically what's going to happen with the union's relationship with the set workers and production houses. That will be crazy.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And we talked quite a bit about that aspect of things. Union is such a positive force for a lot of people. And, when people are able to sort of get, points in a production, for example, that's because the union made that happen for them in many cases. And so those conversations are ongoing, and we want to definitely have that sort of open door with that group for sure.
Brandon, you are perfect for your position because listen, amazing answer. Hey, shout out to the union. Listen, hey, you got to pick your side. You better pick it right. All right, folks? Shout out to the union. They've taken care of me out here too. Listen, I mess with SAG. All right. I don't know what everybody else talking about out there. You better, hey, I mess with SAG. Shout out to you all. You do an awesome job. And I know they're going to help us bridge this NFT gap as well with the likes of Brandon leading the way over at Jambb. Hey, Brandon, thanks again for being here today. We truly appreciate it. And we'll make sure we check out that NFT comedy special when it comes out.
Awesome. Thank you very, very much for having me.
For sure. Take care.
Thank you for coming.
All right, folks. Again, that was Brandon Henderson, the VP at Jambb. Again, he's an NFT enthusiast, and they brought comedy and NFTs together. They finally merged it. Again, it was a huge production, so I can't wait until it comes out to check it out myself. And before we jump into these quick stories, we want to give some quick shouts going on. Chappie, Fanteezy, Barron, Leroy, Paris, Jatati, Stone, Crip. Yes, John Bulwer said, finally caught another live. Thank you guys for all you do. For sure, you already know. What's up, Les Square, New Jersey in the house. Let's see. Clove 71, thank you for the tip. Much appreciated. And yes, Nappy Ways, I saw that. Go ahead and move forward. I emailed you back and I CC'd Zay as well. So yeah, let's move forward. I think Nappy Ways said, so I want to give a shout out to Nappy Ways. He connected us with Da Vinci's people over the weekend. They said they would do the interview. However, I'm assuming he's in a different country. So the interview time for us people may be way off. I haven't calculated. It might be anywhere from like 2 to 5 a.m. So if it is super early in the morning, just make sure you have your notifications on. Of course, you can catch the replay. Or if you're like me and you're an insomniac, you can catch the actual live stream when we do it. but we're going to try to confirm that today. And then once it's confirmed, we'll put it out there as well. And then, of course, Wednesday, we have our tax man coming to talk crypto taxes. So, yeah, crypto taxes. Wah, wah. All right. One of the top stories of the day. There's no reason not to hold Bitcoin for 100 years. Michael Saylor says, nobody's in a hurry with Bitcoin, according to MicroStrategy CEO Michael Saylor. We're thinking that it's the future of the property. When I read this article, it literally sounded like Bitcoin Zay was talking this entire article. I read this in your voice, even though it was Michael Saylor actually saying this. I thought it was pretty hilarious. But he's being quoted as saying some people think diversification means buying other types of cryptocurrencies or other kinds of equities. We think that by holding Bitcoin, we're diversified because we see Bitcoin on the balance sheets of cities, states, governments, companies, small and big investors. Ultimately, Bitcoin is going to be the core to tech innovation at Apple, Amazon, and Facebook. So we want to be holding the Bitcoin. What do you say to this, Bitcoin, Zay?
I say somebody's been watching the tweets and videos that we've been putting out because, good gracious, it does sound like me,
right?
Or at least something close to what I would say. But he has said a lot of statements that a lot of Bitcoiners have been saying for years. He's just famous enough to say it and make it seem as though it was, his quote because he's more famous than us. But he also stated if you want to improve the user experience on these tech platforms, then you need to have skin on the game. I'm guessing you meant skin in the game. And Bitcoin provides skin in the name for all of the interactors in the cyber environment. Dorsey understands this. The killer app is cybersecurity integrated into an international trust network. And again, Michael Saylor, he has only been around, I think, maybe a year now. So the fact that he's really bullish, he understands how Jack Dorsey is bullish as well. And he said this before as far as holding 400 years. I've said that before as far as holding it for 100 years for generational wealth. But there really is no reason to sell it. With all the new products coming and a lot of the pillars that we have, isn't really too much reason to sell it. So shout out to him. He's still, the biggest Bitcoin bull that people know of. But yeah, this it may be subconscious, but when you read a lot of Bitcoin stuff, you may say stuff that other people have already said. So it is what it is.
There it is. And thank you for the tip. Gavin24 said, what's the best way to buy crypto with cash anonymously besides peer-to-peer? What would you suggest?
BISQ. BISQ.network. Download that software. You can probably find somebody in your city to do peer-to-peer, or you could have somebody send you cash or some other means of payment that you agree on. Non-KYC.
There it is. And I forgot who did it this weekend, but I want to go ahead and also say thank you to whoever streamed our set. So shout out to Alec G, our in-house moderator / producer. He hooked up our podcast, for those who don't know, where you can stream sats to our podcast. And actually another company just reached out to us. I guess they saw us on the network. They was like, hey, we see you all using the Lightning Network. Did you know you can actually stream Bitcoin to podcasts? Now you can actually stream Bitcoin to podcasts. Of course, it'll be sats as well. But someone accidentally tipped us 5,000 sats over the weekend. They tried to click something else and they sent us an email. But much appreciated. I did want to say publicly thank you. I got to go back and look for the name on that. But if you're in the chat right now, thank you again. But it works, people. Again, this stuff works. The whole point behind that is that our podcast right now, you can stream sats to it and it works. Somebody did over the weekend. We're using Alex Lightning Network. Everything works, people. It works immediately. It's quick. And you can, again, now pay for things. You can stream for things less than a penny. When we're talking about use case, you talk about your Netflix accounts, your Spotify accounts. What if you literally only pay for the seconds you listen to, even if those seconds accounted for less than less than a penny throughout the month? If you only listen to 0.0006 cent worth of material or watch that much material, that's how much you should pay. You shouldn't still have to pay the whole $8.99 or $12.99. You should pay for what you use. So that is what the streaming sats thing is about. It's very rudimentary right now, but that is what the technology is capable of doing. So shout out to all of that.
You remember, King, you remember Opus, that ICO that we were talking about, the music one? They were just too early. They were talking about that in 2017. And I was like, yeah, of course, in the future, you should just pay for what you listen to. And then they were going to have the whole platform with new artists. They were just too early. But yeah, the people have been talking about this for years. So glad to see it.
There it is. Oh, maybe it was Bougie then. Thanks, Bougie, if that was you. Because Bougie said, did you guys get my crypto super chat? Yes, if that was you, much appreciated. I saw it come in. That was crazy. I was like, we are definitely, we're definitely moving forward as far as technology. Because like Bitcoin Zay said, they came out with it in 2017, which is too early. It's not built. And it's still not all the way built, but it's happening. Like it is People, you can pay for things less than a penny as you listen to it. It is happening. It's coming.
You just hear people.
Right. The future is
zooming
here.
past people.
All right. This is a perfect segue that Michael Saylor mentioned Jack Dorsey, because Square to acquire Australian fintech Afterpay in $29 billion deal. Square will acquire Australian fintech firm Afterpay in a $29 billion stock deal, expecting to close the transaction in Q1 2022. Bitcoin's A, from what I read of this, essentially what's happening is he's making it so that his Cash App is an entire financial industry of itself, a company, a financial company. But I brought this story up because, again, this is more traditional, these deals, but we know Jack Dorsey's in the crypto, he's in the DeFi. So my question to you is, why would one of the largest deals in history at $29 billion for this pay firm, what does this have to do with what he's doing? Where's the link? I didn't see the immediate link, but I know there is a link there, because you don't spend $29 billion on a fintech firm just to go straight into DeFi. So what's happening here?
Oh yeah, so I'm 100% sure Jack Dorsey wants Square and Cash App to be basically its own financial system, not just being able to send money. Remember, they acquired the rights to a bank, or to a banking license, remember, to become a bank. And then they have Afterpay, which has a buy now, pay later service. And the transactions, you can pay small portions through a fixed bill. If they do that on their app, you won't need to go anywhere else. If you can get direct deposit, and then you can do Afterpay or use Afterpay for whatever goods you need. And on top of that, you can get boosts from the card that you use. As far as wherever you shop, you get money off or money back. Imagine when they start doing that Bitcoin. So it's an all-encompassing financial world he's trying to build here. And it looks like they're on their way. 29 billion seems like a lot. But if you have something where it's basically the killer app and nobody has to use anything else, you're going to get that back, especially with the first quarter of this year. They made 2.2 billion. I'm sure they get that 29 billion back pretty easily. So they said the acquisition will help the companies to deliver on their shared mission to make the financial system more accessible, fair, and inclusive. Like I said, together we can connect our Cash App and Saylor ecosystems, deliver even more compelling products and services. So putting the power back in their hands, as he says, and hey, there's a reason why he's a billionaire. That's all I gotta say. And Afterpay is a great step forward.
Shout out to Jack Dorsey. Like you said, he's about to literally be the bank. And what's going to be crazier, people, he's going to be the bank. Think about what's already happened as far as Twitter and Jack Dorsey goes. He's going to be the bank with Bitcoin reserves already, people. He already has Bitcoin reserves. And like you said, if he fully turns into a bank, a lending service, everything, because that's what it sounds like. That buy now, pay later is basically creating debt, which is what banks do. I ain't mad at it. And I see what he's doing. He's like, hey, I'm gonna have this traditional thing. I'm gonna have the new school thing too. I have both, but he'll have a bank with a Bitcoin balance on Bitcoin on his balance sheet. And like you said, that is like we're gonna hit that capitulation and mass adoption when people and banks and organizations start doing that, and it looks like it's coming.
Oh yeah, it's over for the old banks. Square,
right?
It's over for you.
All right, this is a pretty interesting one. Brand executive posts discounted Utah home listing for Dogecoin. The influencer marketeer said prospective buyers can get 10% off the listing price of his house listing if the payment is made in Dogecoin. Now, I want to point out one quick funny thing about the story, because everybody always like to talk about how long they've been in crypto and everything, and they always add in years. So it says the Wooly founder's background. Was it no, this is the wrong one. Let me keep scrolling. They were talking about how long he had been in the crypto, but they made it to
2015.
There, yeah. For Paul, the decision to accept Dogecoin for his house is also part of a long-standing interest in cryptocurrencies dating back to 2015. Paul told Fox 13 that he was an early adopter of Bitcoin and Ether. So here's my thing. If this is a quote, I find it hard to believe for two reasons, because he wouldn't have said Ether, A, and B, he wouldn't have accepted it in Dogecoin. He would have been maxied out. He would be like, I don't want my Bitcoin. I want it now. So I find it hard to believe he's been since 2015 asking for Dogecoin. But I wanted to bring up this article. My thing is that it's just happening again. The fact that you can use Dogecoin is important, right? It doesn't have to be Dogecoin, people. That's the thing. If Bitcoin Zay and I create a cryptocurrency right now on the internet in front of you, in 15 minutes, we create a new crypto, ABCD coin, right? And I say, Bitcoin Zay, I got this new house in LA. You can buy up off me, and I'm only accepting ABCD coin. Well, guess what? It's real now, people. It's a real cryptocurrency that's being used to transact. And whether the rest of the world doesn't believe in it, whether it doesn't have liquidity anywhere else, as long as two people are willing to barter with it and have value in it, then it works. And that is our point also about tax knowledge, though, because all of a sudden, what if our warriors say, well, we're going to use ABCD coin, then have the country starts using it for homes? What happens in 3 weeks? The government said, all right, we got to start taxing ABCD coin. Like, whoa, I thought it was just two dudes using it on the internet at first. What's happening? What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up too, because I am interested to see in the housing market. Let's say, for instance, I wanted to buy this house. If I have all that Dogecoin, 1.7 million Dogecoin, let's say on a hard wallet, you know how they say paying with crypto is a taxable event. What if I just leave him the hardware wallet? I didn't actually send it to a pay. There's no
you just give him the wallet. I get you.
Give him the wallet, yeah. And then
wow.
So what are the implications there, especially in a real estate market that's all over the place? Some of them banks own the houses, some of them individuals own it. Commercial property is a little weird. So I'll be interested to see the tax implications on that. But again, it is hilarious that he said he's been around since 2015, and you want Doge?
Right? That's like Doge.
I mean, but some people, they're rich enough to where it doesn't really matter. And in his convictions, he's saying, hey, if I get Dogecoin, it's more likely to go up 20, 30, 40%. Because as you and I know, Doge always pumps during the bull market, at least once. So all he really has to do is, if he gets Dogecoin now at a low price, just wait, and it'll pump again probably in the next few years, or the rest of this bull market. So not bad there, but his mindset is what a lot of people are about to start doing too. They're gonna be like, well, yeah, I'll just give you a discount, give me crypto. I know it's gonna go up.
Right. So, and I know it, and it's like, I know it's harder to track. Go ahead and send me that crypto.
Yeah, go ahead and send that.
And the thing is, it's like you always say, it's about to turn to whack-a-mole. Like you can try to make something legal, you can try to tax it. Again, people, you haven't wrapped your head around. It takes 15 minutes to create a new crypto. And there's websites that can essentially do it for you. And all it literally takes is for two people, especially when you're talking about big money, just to say, hey, let's just create a crypto right now. I mean, you talk about privacy, forget Monero and Zcash. What if the privacy feature is that it becomes so easy to make new cryptos, it's become so easy to transact in them, that people literally just start making new cryptocurrencies for every major transaction. Every transaction over 100K, hey, let's just make a new crypto. It's between you and I. This is not between every third party on the planet. It's between you and I, and ensure that we're just going to create a new crypto every time we do a transaction. There will be no way of stopping it. We're going to say, stop using technology. We're going to start taxing on software.
Especially because Coinbase is listing everything. They're like, we're trying to list every coin. So you can just create it out there, send them an email. It'll be on Coinbase somewhere. You can sell it for cash if you want.
Right. So Shadusi said this infrastructure bill, I saw it. I didn't even want to talk about it, people. I wanted it to be a good day. But yeah, essentially they're trying to do these new bills to protect us. We kind of talked about a new one last week on Friday. It's another one that's coming out. And again, this is all for your protection, because crypto and software touched you all the wrong way and you never recovered. So this is for your protection here, not the government at all. Let's see. Aaron said, wait until they start rolling up Afterpay into derivatives with investment tranches so investors can bet on how many people successfully complete the Afterpay. S1 does say Afterpay has never made a profit and has less than $1 billion in net assets being acquired by Square, who generated 70% of revenue from Bitcoin. He has the questioning face there. Sounds like it was a steal then, right? I guess he got it for with some of these companies, and I'm sure it's not $29 billion worth of it. Some of these companies, just the licenses and relationships, you got to remember. I mean, if the US, or I guess there's an Australian company, whatever, if a world government co-signs the banking licenses, for some people, that's worth its weight in gold. Yeah. It's worth its weight in gold. All right. And last but not least, I'm assuming this is why, what's his name? Vitalik Buterin was over there. And I'm assuming this is why they've been making those weird comments to get people's attention about they only watch their kids when they see dirt on them, even though it sounds like some things people do. Cats cause chaos on Ethereum again as Mila Kunis project sells out in 35 minutes. If you remember a week or two ago, Vitalik Buterin had his feet up saying, F your couch. Oh, no, he was over at Mila Kunis's and Ashton Kutcher's spot, chilling. Everybody was wondering what was happening. It looks like he passed the game plan from CryptoKitties down to theirs. What's going on here with this cat?
Wow, man. So it looks as though there was a total of $793,000 in value lost to failed Stoner Cats transactions. Oh my goodness. I can only laugh at this story simply because we said this during the video. Remember, we were like, why is Vitalik in your house? Why are you all talking about Ethereum? And Mila Kunis didn't even know what she was talking about. She's like, it's a way for technology to send money. Shut up, Mila. And then now that we know that you only wash once a week, we really don't want to listen to dirty cat people talk about. But shout out to Mila Kunis and Ashton. So the gas prices soared as they snapped up the first tranche of the Stoner Cats. It had a cap of 10,420 NFTs, of course, at 0.35 Ether, worth roughly 804 at the time of the writing. And then again, 3,000 new ones will be released over the course of the first season. If you look at the on-chain data, the price for fees went from $950 all the way up to $33.67, and eventually 700,000 was lost in Cat's failed transactions. So if you're going to do things like this, NFTs, at least have the technical side correct, because you're famous anyway. People are going to show up. People are going to buy it. That's another thing about NFT market. The elephant in the room is that there's famous people selling NFTs that suck, and then there's really talented people that aren't selling for as much on NFTs because they're not popular. So it's kind of the balance we're trying to achieve here. And Stoner Cats, again, great idea. It sounds like fun, but just doesn't work if you don't have it technically sound. And they got Ethereum 2.0 can't come fast enough. You got to do something about those fees, man.
And I'm with you too. I mean, again, shout out to Mila Kunis, Ashton Kutcher. I mean, from all I guess aspects, it looks like great people. I'm a huge Chris Rock fan, so I'm happy Chris Rock got in on it too. Seth MacFarlane, I think he's hilarious to me. So shout out to these people, but also I'm with you on that. Like, all right, here's that narrative, people. Okay, there are already a ton of great creators in the space with no notoriety who need this type of notoriety, right? So I'm I'm huge fans of all these people, but it's time for y'all to move over or just don't enter right now. Like, you know what I mean? It's one of those things where it's like, oh, you trying to have everything? That's a good way to fuck up, because now you crossing over into something that's not your area of expertise. And if you do jack up like $700,000 in essential gas fees, that fees that were lost in Cat's failed transactions, that's not cool. Now you're dimming your own light in this industry. And it doesn't matter who you are. Once the community kind of gets tired of you on that thing, we all know what can happen.
Yeah, we got to stop. Man, this is crazy, man. People just coming up with projects, not even testing them out, no audit, no nothing, losing money. Yeah, that's how you get a bad rep.
And that's the other thing. Yeah, I mean, great point. They have the resources to actually do a proper audit, and yet they just launched it and didn't.
Who needs an audit, baby? Just release it, copy paste. Let's go.
And to me, what that also says to me is, again, you're either incompetent or you're in on it. You're either not smart enough to know you need to do one, or unfortunately, you don't care enough to do one. This was just a money play by people with money. They're like, hey, you want to make some quick money? Let's say I got a CD come down, invite people to the stadium and don't play no music. All right, like turn up. I saw a meme. They said for his next CD, it's not gonna be no music, and people were like, yeah, I understood what he was trying to go. I know he was feeling in this moment.
Yeah, I feel exactly what. There was an artist that did that. He sold nothing and was like, he's supposed to imagine what the art is supposed to be for like $13,000, something like that. Crazy.
Right. Let's see. PFC Will said it's about laterally expanding their brand because the business manager said it was a good idea. Exactly. That's why I feel like it's happening, of course, in this space. And that's why I say, as much as I like these people, I'm pushing back against it, because this isn't what it's about. If that's what it's going to be about, again, JP Morgan, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, they're going to be the crypto leaders in the next 2 weeks. If this whole thing is just about who's going to come with the most money, who's popular already, trying to laterally expand their brand. So I'm with you on that track. You almost hope that's not what's happening, but that's what it looks like happening, especially when you already had crypto kitties. Again, Vitalik came by, gave them the playbook real quick. Y'all want to launder some money? You know what I'm saying? Let's do another cat thing. So it's crazy. Yeah, Phil G, as I said that, Phil G said it's the new lick that quick. If two people came up with it that quick, independent thoughts.
Oh, yeah, easy.
All right, other than that, that is the show for today. You got anything else, Bitcoin Zay?
Yeah, real quick, shout out to everybody who came to Club Platinum this weekend. Had a great time. First book tour event at a strip club. We had them in there reading and everything. So everybody needs to understand on this book tour, much different, a whole bunch of different sites and different things for the tour. So appreciate that. Everybody coming out, all the support. So, and make sure you tune in tomorrow, baby.
What's happening tomorrow?
Or Wednesday. I'm sorry.
Okay, I was like, you about to catch me off guard. Listen, first of all, hey, I'm mad I missed it. I would have walked in there like Terrence Howard. I slapped shit out that book out of her hand. Hey, get the dance. What's this reading going on in here? Hey, hey, who's this Bitcoin Zay dude? Hey, somebody flip this dude up. Why you got my girls in here reading, homie? My girls in here reading. They supposed to be working.
I got to shout out Fatima, one of our warriors. It's her family that owns it.
Yeah, shout out to Fatima.
Shout out to Shelby, Daniel, everybody at the club. It's a family-owned club. Beautiful. And again, like I said, they had everything in place. Everything was great. We brought out, I won't say his name, but we brought out an actor, a very famous actor who I work with. I can't say his name because it's his image, but let's just say we brought Hollywood out too. And it was crazy, man. Like being able to bring him in there was great. So yeah, amazing weekend. Thanks for the support, everybody that came out.
All right, hey, shout out to Fatima and her family. But the next one you have, I'm coming. I'm slapping books out of hands. All right, I want to see some dance. I'm trying to hear a read. Come on, you trying to get my girls to retire here? Is that what you're doing? No, I'm just playing. All jokes, people. All jokes. Also, yeah. So again, Wednesday, gonna have our the tax guy on to talk crypto taxes. That should definitely be an interesting show to hear their take on it. Of course, you know they got to toe the party line a little bit, so. Forewarning, we already know they'll have the total party line, but it will be cool to have them on. And then tracking everyone, yeah, I just saw your message. Yes, so for the referral stuff, the emails are coming in piecemeal, people. So I wasn't gonna just be clicking, but I have the list together for everyone who actually do referrals, who have communities that want to support us and vice versa. We want to make sure we can support you all by getting these off. So I will be sending those emails out today. Later today, and at worst case, then tomorrow morning, you'll get those emails for the referral program. But yes, they'll have discount codes in there as well. So for people looking for the discounts, they'll have to go through you all to find them. Other than that, as always, thanks for watching. Again, let's thank Brandon Henderson, the VP from Jambb, and the first ever comedy NFT special for being on again. That was really cool to get their thoughts. And it's people, it's happening. Mass adoption is on its way. Make sure you smash the like and share, and we will see you all tomorrow with some more crypto news.